This story's by Bill Holter. Here it is, the truth bomb. Now, mind you that he has went into this deal with Jim Sinclair where you pretty much have to pay to get to their stuff. And they decided to put this story out for free. So I'll be interested to see what's in it. I coined the phrase truth bomb well over a year ago to much skepticism as it would or even could ever happen. As you may know by now, information was dropped in truth bomb fashion regarding the clientele of Panamanian law firm Mossack Fonseca, and it gives the Yahoo address to all of it. This information dump was collated by 100 international journalists. When I first heard the news, I thought, here it is, the truth bomb. After about 30 minutes or so of reading who was being exposed, I began to scratch my head noticeably I began to scratch my head. Noticeably absent from being named were any prominent American or Europeans, with the exception of David Cameron's father and several members of British Parliament. Then it dawned on me, this was sort of a reverse truth bomb, where Putin, Xi Jinping, and others were being discredited. As you know, it contention, has been my contention we would see a massive truth bomb dropped by Putin on the East, on the various Western dirties, you name it, bribes and hidden accounts of business leaders, senators, representatives, governors, ambassadors, past presidents. I believe we would see information regarding false flags, including 9/11, election fraud, and even empty vaults being exposed. Instead, the truth bomb, though very probably true, was only detrimental to non-Western interests. Did I have it backwards? I believe what we have just seen was only an opening volley by the West to try to discredit who they know is coming from the East. In fact, it could turn out to be a free-for-all amongst all the elites where the sharks eat the sharks by outing each other. I've said for many years we live in a world of true lies covered by holograms of the rule of law. We may very soon see this. The elites now look like they will begin outing each other in an effort to say, what I did wasn't so bad, just look at what so and so did. In this reality, we will be very good for the average Joe in the long run. Notice I said the long run, because the intermediate aftermath of truth is coming out means we will learn that everything was worth nothing, or at least a small fraction of what we are being told. Trust will completely break down, and with it, markets, stock and bond markets, cross trading and derivatives, institutions and all sorts will fail, and most importantly, the global fiat currency markets themselves. The aftermath may even approach Mad Max proportions, but truth will be good in the long run, especially if the elites outing each other leads to lynching and unrest not seen since the French Revolution. Truth now, though painful, will lead to a washing away of the current system. In the words of Chinese President Xi Jinping, painful in the short term, but very good for in the long term. I do not need to make mention of the timing of what is happening. Global trade and GDP is collapsing. Markets have been held up via derivatives while remaining unencumbered collateral is almost non-existent. Lowering rates and flooding the system with new speedballs is no longer working. Put simply, we are hitting a wall in the global Ponzi scheme. In about 2 weeks, the Chinese will open for full trading in a cash-only metals exchange. Western inventories of less than 1 billion of gold and silver will not be able to withstand any arbitrage action, which will be sure to follow. Please note, China will say, "We didn't do it. The free market did." Let's ponder a question or two to wrap this up. What would have been market reactions today were the truth bombs dropped on the West instead of the East? What if we had given hard evidence that dozens of congressmen took bribes disguised as campaign contributions in the billions and their votes were bought? What if we got information of blackmail on Supreme Court justices or gold balances held by past and present central bankers? What if proof of regularly rigged U.S. elections were to surface? What if absolute proof that pointed to Israeli, Saudi, U.S. involvement in the planning and implementation of 9/11 were to come out? What would be the reaction if scores of dirty dealing, fraud, tax evasion, or even eliminations were performed by past presidents? Not to leave Europe out of this pretty party, what if similar information was dropped on them some sunny Sunday afternoon? I ask these questions because when the return of the volley of truth bombs comes, it will not be pleasant. Much of what we have come to believe as our way of life in the West will not only come into much question, it will be gone in an instant. Pooh-pooh. Pooh-pooh this at your own risk, because it's coming as sure as the sun will rise tomorrow morning. We have lived in a dream world for well over a decade. The truth will be outed, and the truth happens to be some very ugly stuff. Our markets, our economy, our way of life will be permanently altered faster than you can ask, what just happened? We will go to bed on a Friday night in one world and wake up on Monday morning in an entirely different world. If you want to short something, short country clubs. This is such an important topic, it was decided we should put it out publicly. If you liked how could anyone like such news? The content, my writings and interviews with Jim Sinclair, we can be found at jsmindset.com. Please join and subscribe to our Gold Subscribe content. Click here to sign up now. Standing Watch, Bill Holter, Holter Sinclair collaborations. Comments welcome. bholter@hotmail.com. Well, that was a pretty good one. Take care, guys. Keep stacking.